So we're diving into something today that I think anyone who's ever tried to mount a TV has struggled with.
Oh, yeah.
You want that clean look, you know?
Yeah.
The TV on the wall, no wires, all the gear hidden in a closet somewhere.
The dream setup.
Yeah.
But then you run up against, well, physics and standard HDMI cables.
They just don't like to go the distance, do they? So today we're looking at a little box that kind of hacks that problem.
Right.
It's the WolfPack 1080p 1x2 over CAT6 Splitter. It's about $75, but it's not just a gadget. It feels like a smarter way to think about wiring a house.
That's exactly it. It's moving away from specialized, fussy cables and just using the infrastructure that's probably already in your walls. Standard network cable.
Okay, so let's start with the big one, distance. An HDMI cable starts to get flaky after, what, 15, maybe 20 feet?
If you're lucky. And they're thick and hard to hide.
Right. But this thing claims it can send a full 1080p 60 hertz signal up to 40 meters. That's over 130 feet down a regular CAT6 cable. How does it even work without turning into a mess?
Well, it's because twisted pair Ethernet cable is just, inherently better at rejecting noise and interference.
Ah, okay.
So that signal actually arrives at the other end clean, which you just can't do with a long, unshielded HDMI.
So that solves the distance problem. But it's also called a 1x2 splitter. So it takes one source, say a Blu-ray player, and sends it to two screens.
Exactly. But the clever part is how it does it. You have your main output that goes over the network cable to the remote TV.
And the second one?
The second one is an HDMI loop out right on the transmitter box itself.
So you can have a local monitor, like one TV in the living room and one right there in the closet with all the gear.
You could, but its real value is for troubleshooting. I mean, if the remote TV goes black, you have no idea if it's the source or the cable run.
Right.
With the loop out, you just glance at the local monitor. If it's working, you know the problem is somewhere that 130-foot cable run.
Yeah.
It saves so much time.
That's actually brilliant. Okay, so that brings me to the next aha moment I had looking at this. Power. It says it uses PoE.
Power over Ethernet. Yeah, this is a game changer for clean installs.
So you're telling me the little receiver box that sits behind the TV, it doesn't need its own power plug?
Nope, not at all.
Sure.
The main transmitter box sends a little bit of power down the exact same network cable that's carrying the video and audio.
Wow, so you really just have one single thin network cable plugging into the receiver behind your floating TV.
That's it. It's as clean as it gets.
Okay, but you've just created a new problem.
Yeah.
If my cable box is now in a closet down the hall, my remote control is basically useless.
Right. You're pointing it at a screen with no brain.
Yeah.
That's where the IR passback comes in. It's bidirectional.
So it listens for the remote signal at the TV and then shoots it backward down the wire to the closet.
Precisely. You stick a tiny IR emitter on the front of your cable box, and that's it. You point your remote at the TV, press a button, and the signal travels all the way back to the source device. It feels instant.
So you get distance, distribution, clean power, and full remote control. What's the catch? There's always one technical gremlin.
There is. It's usually something called the HDMI handshake, or EDI.
Ah, where the source gets confused about what kind of screen it's connected to and just, gives up.
Exactly. It might default to a lower resolution or just show a black screen. This unit has an EDI management switch.
So you can just force it. You can tell the source, hey, you are connected to a 1080p screen with stereo audio, no arguments.
That's exactly what you do. You lock it in and it creates a stable, predictable connection. No more flickering.
So when you add it all up, this is way more than just a cable extender. It's a whole new architecture for a home AV system, and it costs less than $100.
It really is. It lets you centralize everything, and it future-proofs the install. It's way easier to pull a new CAT6 cable in a few years than some new proprietary video cable.
It really makes you think, though. If we can move high-def video and audio and power and control signals so easily over cheap, standard internet cables, why are we still so dependent on all these short, fragile, specialized cables for everything else?
That is the big question, isn't it?
Something to think about. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.